Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Now time to talk fire safety with my friend, your friend, Nick's friend, Mark Malekish. Mark, how you doing?
I'm good. Glad to be back.
I'm glad you're here. It's been a little bit of time. We've missed you.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, and I apologize for the absence.
Unbelievable, Mark. Unbelievable. Like you're not busy. I mean, you got a lot going on there.
We try to not sit in one spot too much, so.
And when you think of all the things that are going on that the department's responsible for, oh my gosh. Never a dull moment.
No, never a dull moment, and sort of a jack of all trades, right?
Yes.
Whatever it is, we get to do it.
Yeah.
So that's what makes it fun. Also makes it challenging.
We could talk all day about this, but you're here to give us some winter fire safety tips, which I'm super stoked about. We're going to start off just why, and I know the answer to this, but why in the wintertime why are we see the most fires during the cold season, so to speak, here in Wisconsin?
So we do two things. First of all, it's a colder climate, so we're heating more. And I think we'll get in depth about some of the heating stuff. But if done correctly, heating is, obviously something needed. If not done correctly, then, it can present some challenges that are tough to overcome. The other part of that is, and you hear me say it every time I come in, cooking. We cook more in the wintertime. We like big meals. We like, during the holiday season, we're all, either cooking or prepping or taking food somewhere. So we're spending more time in the kitchen, and kitchens are traditionally where lots of fires start. So
it's the holiday season. You throw that on there too. It's just there's a lot of things going on there. Well, let's specifically dive into the heat side of things. It's been already unseasonably, I don't know what the word I want to use, but it's been cold early this year. So we got a taste of firing up every single heating element possible thus far. Let's take it first just in general. When it comes to heating the home, if you are using space heaters, we're just going to go down the line here. Okay. But if I'm looking at a space heater situation or any type of heating placement, you want to set a radius around that, right? Like you want to keep a radius around any type of heating thing, let alone space heater.
So you've got to let them breathe. They've got to have some space to breathe. They need fresh air coming in. They can push warm air out, but you don't want things so close that warm air coming out heats up too much. But even before that, check over your space heater or your heating element. Make sure that the cord's in good shape. Make sure that the unit's in good shape. It's in working order. It's not been dinged up over the season when it got stored. And then plug it direct into a wall. Don't use an extension cord or a power strip for a heating source. Plug it directly into your wall. But then, give it some space to breathe. 3 foot's a good rule all the way around.
And even when you're thinking of like where you put, I know it's late in the season right now, but if you have a tree up in your home or anything, you really don't want stuff by something that's kicking out heat just in general. I mean, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, so my wife's been very into her plants lately. And even she's figured out that we have a forced air furnace in my house, but even she's figured out that if she puts her plants near the vent, they dry out a heck of a lot faster, and it's much more work, right? The same applies to any combustibles around a space heater or forced air furnace vents, anything. You've got to give it space for that air to get out. It warms the air, but it also isn't hitting the object so hot that it overheats it.
And then as far as the fireplace goes, it seems like it's the time of year that people would want to fire up the fireplace. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's been a few years since you've done it. Maybe it's whatever the case may be. But any recommendations if you're going to be doing that in the home?
Yeah, 100%. Whether it's a wood-burning fireplace, an old-school hearth fireplace, or a wood-burning stove, or even a pellet stove. Just like your furnace, have it checked at the beginning of the season. If you haven't had it checked and we're into the season, you can still do it. You can still have them come in and give it a once-over and make sure that it's running properly. But make sure that it's maintained. Especially if you're using a wood-burning fireplace or stove, make sure that your chimney has been cleaned. So that creosote buildup in there It can cause fires. And if there's any kind of flaw or error or hole in the chimney, it gets into your attic space and it's off to the races.
Yeesh.
So you just got to take care of it. You got to make sure it's maintained. It's maintenance, maintenance, maintenance.
I mean, really, like all your heating elements should be maintained each and every year. You should have your furnace inspected. You should inspect your, as you had mentioned, your space heaters and stuff. Like that should be as part of a routine as cleaning your toilets and cleaning the house. Like,
Yep, we rely on it. And, you know, the one thing, the way I look at it, because it's one of those things you don't think of automatically, but the one time that I don't want my furnace to go down is when it's 30 below zero and the wind's blowing, right? So I want to make sure it's up and running for that reason all by itself, but for all sorts of safety reasons as well.
I had that happen to me.
So have I.
And it's not fun. And we had to use a lot of different heating elements to get through the night. And it's going to happen, but being prepared, that's another whole conversation we could probably spend time on. Do quickly back to the fireplace, and if you do discard ash, coal, anything from the, make sure you do that properly as well.
Absolutely. It's as simple as you need it to be, right? So any hot ashes, the rule of thumb is, for me, if I wouldn't put my hand in it and pick it up with my hand, then it's too hot, right? Let it cool down. But when you do take it out, put it in a metal container. I even had a fire years ago that took the roof off of a very nice house. And what they had done is they had taken a log that had half burned. They were able to pick it up on one end because it hadn't burned, set it outside. Well, they set the burned side down in the mulch, and the mulch caught fire and it ran over to the house. It went up the siding and got into the roof and burned the roof off, right?
Wow.
So had they put it in a metal container, never would have happened.
Gotcha. And switching gears here now, when I think of heating and closing things up for the wintertime, I also think of CO, carbon monoxide, and seriously something that is undetectable, unless you got the detectors, you're not going to know.
So first and foremost, you cannot smell carbon monoxide. You cannot see carbon monoxide. You have no idea, right? So a working carbon monoxide detector in the house is your first warning that the buildup is getting high. And carbon monoxide truly is deadly. So it will make you sick, but the higher that carbon monoxide count, the parts per million count in the air goes, the more deadly it can be, and it comes on fast. So during the day, you might realize, hey, I'm not feeling good. Something's not right. Whereas at night, you're sleeping. So you need that carbon monoxide detector out there sort of being your nose and your alert system. So always have one each level of the home, common areas. And with carbon monoxide, unlike smoke you want them high because smoke and heat rises. Carbon monoxide detectors really, carbon monoxide goes with the airflows in the house. So it doesn't matter if it's low or high, as long as it's there.
All right. And check them. I mean, check your smoke detector. If it's a combo detector, whatever the case, you still need to check them. And when I ask you this question all the time. Mark, how many times a year should I check my smoke detector and carbon monoxide detector?
12. Once every month.
You
didn't think I was going to say that, did you?
I'm sure you say.
And then with batteries, if you still have batteries in your detectors, which is fine, the recommendation is to change those out at clock change. So when you spring forward or fall back, that's when you change the batteries.
And then these detectors do not last forever. So this is something that I feel like I focused on in the last several years is there is an expiration date on them.
There is, and the detectors nowadays will give you an alert that is trying to tell you that it's near its end of life. So either hold on to your manufacturer's recommendation or your manufacturer's paperwork, or look it up online. You can Google the model number and pull up a pamphlet online, but know what the beeps mean, right? They're not all the same. Some beeps are trying to tell you that the battery's low. Some beeps are trying to tell you that the detector is near the end of its life. And some beeps are because, well, there's smoke or there's carbon monoxide.
All right. Final question for you has to do with generators, but I also want to add this in. If you have a car, and I see this out where I live, and it just pains me to see this, starting your car in the garage and leaving it in the garage running, doors open, but
Absolutely not.
it boggles my mind to see it
So-
happen. But whether the car's sitting in the driveway or sitting inside your garage, that's getting into your house, right?
It sure is. So they're combustion engines. Okay, so and the way they work is they create a little fire inside the engine that makes the pistons move, right? Well, that fire also creates carbon monoxide. So you can't see it, you can't smell it. But if you've got that car running inside of a garage, then that carbon monoxide is coming out through the exhaust and it's getting into your home. If you're running a generator, the same thing, right? You've got all of that exhaust or all of that carbon monoxide not being vented to the outside, it's coming into the home. So if you need to run a generator, run it out of doors, outside the building altogether. Your car, if you need to warm it up, back it out of the garage. You have to get in to start it anyway, for the most part. You might as well just back it up a few feet and save yourself the trouble.
What if the wind's blow? I always think this because I park my vehicle outside all the time. And if the wind's blowing into the garage, I'm like, man, I'm just like shooting myself in the foot today because I feel like I'm sort of poisoning the family. But I mean, just do you want to think about those things? I don't know.
Yeah, so it's worth thinking about, right? But this is me thinking it through. If it's cold enough to where I need to back my truck or my car out of my garage to warm it up, it's probably cold enough to where I want to close that garage door to keep the heat inside the garage okay, right? Again, simple act, big results.
All right. If people want to learn more or have any questions about the stuff we talked about today, or just in general any questions, you're there to answer questions, help guide people in the right direction. Please reach out.
Yeah, I'm at work more than I'm not at work these days. So feel free to give me a call. I can wax poetic on this stuff all day long. So I'm happy to talk to anyone about anything.
All right. Well, I appreciate the time as always. Happy New Year to you, and thank you to everybody on the department working long hours, especially during the holidays. It's a lot, but we appreciate what you're all doing out there.
We appreciate it. Thank you.